Yoruba persons Tinubu can support for 2023 presidency to remain politically relevant. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's political rise from being a senator to becoming a two-term Lagos governor to taking charge of a political party and then becoming the national leader of the ruling party is nothing short of phenomenon. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress took the Action Congress of Nigeria to the central by forming an alliance with other parties to take charge of power. It is no surprise that President Muhammadu Buhari entrusted Tinubu with the 2019 election at a time the party was dealing with large number of people exiting the party, and he did not disappoint. Since President Buhari returned to power, political observers have seen the trajectory of his action, which seems to undermine the power and influence of Tinubu in the presidency, raising suspicion that the APC's leaders' supposed 2023 ambition might suffer a setback. Tinubu has shown that he is politically strategic. His hold in Lagos has remained unwavering as he has literally anointed his successor in the state. Tinubu was also responsible for the appointment of some of the key members of the Buhari administration. This would have been a smooth ride for Tinubu to contest and possibly win the 2023 presidential election, but recent happenings are beginning to put that into jeopardy. Since Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo sacked the then Director General of the Department of State Services, Lawal Daura, President Buhari has ceased to hand over power to him in acting capacity. After the 2019 elections, President Buhari dissolved the economic management team headed by Osinbajo and replaced it with an economic advisory council that will report directly to him. 35 aides working in the office of the vice president were also sacked. The failure of President Buhari to extend the tenure of Babatunde Fashola as chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, as well as removal of Muiz Banire as chairman of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, has further raised suspicion that the president is tactically winning off the influence of Tinubu and reducing his influence at the national level. Since the end of his governorship tenure in Lagos in 2007, Tinubu's political influence has continued to grow even though he has not occupied any elective position. Thus, he does not need to become the president of the country to have influence in it. If Tinubu attempts to contest for presidency in 2023 and loses the ticket in the APC, it may be the beginning of his political end. Therefore, he is better off lending political support to other candidates to maintain his relevance. With the pendulum of the presidential candidacy expected to swing to the south in 2023, particularly the southwest, here are three persons the APC national leader can support. Number 1, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Professor Yemi Osinbajo served as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Lagos under Tinubu before he became Vice President. The Vice President is in pole position to remain politically relevant beyond 2023 and Tinubu would do well to give him maximum support. Osinbajo has enjoyed tremendous goodwill since he became Buhari's running mate. Many Nigerians have applauded his key decision making, especially when he served as acting president. He has also been the policy and intellectual face of the Buhari administration, and this was well highlighted during the presidential debate where he showed his knowledge of every policy of the Buhari administration. It is no secret that although Buhari convincingly won the 2019 election, his goodwill has begun to dip so fast that if elections were held in December, he might lose. Osinbajo, on the other hand, still enjoys a level of political goodwill even in regions where Buhari is not liked. Tinubu would be one of the political gainers of 2023 with an Osinbajo presidency. The second person is Babatunde Fashola. Babatunde Fashola served as chief of staff to Tinubu before he succeeded him as a two-term governor. Fashola initially served as Minister of Power, Works and Housing during Buhari's first term and now as Minister of Works and Housing. Although there are reports that the relationship between Fashola and Tinubu is strained, the two can still work together for 2023, especially if Tinubu provides Fashola with tactical support. Fashola has been tipped to occupy Aso Rock in the near future, as he has grown from a relatively unknown politician to one who has found his way to the center due to his efficiency. As governor of Lagos State, he established key developmental reforms and has also replicated the same as minister, particularly in roads and housing projects. Fashola also serves as a bridge between the old brigade and the technocrat ideas of the new bridge. He's both a convincing orator and intelligent, as seen in his performance. Tinubu can leverage on his goodwill to provide political support for him. Honestly, the third person will surprise you, and the third person is Femi Otedola. Femi Otedola is the son of the late former governor of Lagos State, Michael Otedola, and a popular billionaire, although he has not contested for an elective position in the country. He has been politically inclined, and his operation on the corridor of power has opened doors for him and helped to boost his business. Otedola is a close ally of former President Goodluck Jonathan and was appointed into the then Nigeria's National Economic Management Team. He has also reportedly financially contributed to the administration of the People's Democratic Party. His political leaning to the PDP is no reason why Tinubu cannot offer him political backing for 2023 presidency. At a period where many Nigerians are tired of the same old career politicians, Otedola represents a breath of fresh air whose presence in the political scene can sway voters. What Tinubu needs to do is to offer political and tactical support in order to prepare the billionaire to the interests of the electorate. Otedola's close relationship with Aliko Dangote can also offer inroad into the north in win-win situation for all parties. Tinubu can use this connection to bolster support for Otedola and thus maintain his own political relevance. So guys, those are the three people that Tinubu can really support in 2023 presidency for him to remain politically relevant. And this article is from a Yusuf Omotayo. Uh, this is really, from the angle of the writer. Of course, he has looked at everywhere and felt that this could really happen, but I don't think it might happen in the recent, but probably it could happen. But one thing is that we always talk about, oh, this and this and that. When you talk about Fashola, Fashola did well in Lagos because even a lot of people didn't really believe in him when he was being presented, to uh, be the governor of Lagos State. But at the end of the day, he surprised everybody. He did so well, marvelously well. No one can really wave that off. And people were like, oh, if this man could really go, be the president of this country, maybe he could do better. And of course, the chance was not really there for him. But what he needed to do was to have a opportunity to serve at the center, which he did. And people like, oh, just like the way he did in Lagos, was still going to be, going to do better. But unfortunately, like most of the things that being said here, we couldn't really feel his impact so well. Mostly in the first tenor, we couldn't really feel his impact so well, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, we thought this guy is going to do wonders." Maybe since he wasn't the sole leader, maybe that was why he couldn't really do much because there are a lot of power that be that might want to be pulling you down. But what he did in Lagos could not really reflect at the center when he uh, became minister in the Buhari first tenure. Of course, they are just coming up in their second tenure. So most of the time, the way people project things might not be the way it ought to go. But honestly, all of these things, project this on, even everybody had a very high hopes in a very high hope in Buhari. But what do we see? It's just disappointment here and there. Even when good luck was coming, everybody's expectation was so high. Some people were like, oh, this good luck will be the first academician that we want to be the president of this country. Of course, Yaradua was learned ahead too when he was alive, but all those things couldn't really reflect. And unfortunately, Yaradua couldn't really do much. But with the few years he spent, people still like, oh, this man had opportunity of staying longer, maybe he would have done wonders. But most of the time, the expectation people really have concerning people, most of these politicians, at the end of the day, once they get there, they become something else. And that's why it's so difficult to predict. Now, it's difficult for Nigerians to trust anybody. Even Osinbajo that we are talking about, of course, Osinbajo did well when he was in acting capacity. We don't know why all of a sudden they just try to remove all of those things from him. But that being said, it's not really enough, because by the time he gets to that place again, it's, people might still be disappointed. People might be disappointed at the end of the day. But coming back to Osidallah, people will tell you, oh, he has never been a politician before. But we have seen in other climes that even without being a politician, you can still do better. But we don't know whether Nigerian factors will set in when it comes to that level, if really people will really appreciate him. But all that being said, what we want is somebody who can really pull the trigger, not just because you feel that this person can do it, this person can do it. Now in Nigeria, what people can really believe now is seeing is believing, until when they see that, okay, even if maybe somebody who that Nigerians never even believe that could do better, but if the person could do what Nigerians want, definitely that is when Nigerians will believe the person. But having this high expectations, this person, if he gets there, this and this and that, most times we've been disappointed, because these politicians, people cannot be trusted. Once they get there, they become demigods. They become intoxicated with the power being given to them. The people that they always relate with before they get there, by the time they get there, it will not be difficult. You see that arrogance in them. They are always carried away with powers here and there. But coming back to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, everything is just his speculation, people's opinion here and there, until that time, because it might not even be, even people who might want to contest in 2023, a lot of them have not really come out to say, oh, this and that. But people just believe that because Tinubu really supported Buhari to come in. Ordinarily, that is the fact. Buhari wouldn't have been there if not for the support of Tinubu, even other people that supported him. But the major person that really supported Buhari is Tinubu. And from what the writer said, that in this second tenure that the Buhari started, as in the influence of Tinubu, started reducing, and it's like most of his people, Buhari tried to remove them. Everything is just speculation, but that is not even correct, because right from the first tenure, after their first or second year, that was when Tinubu relevance was not just even, was not too glaring, was not even visible then. A lot of people were like, oh, they were mocking him, that you can see the person that you helped at the end of the day, because he was just at the background, and people could not even feel him so much. But at the end of the day, when it was time for election in 2019, that was when Buhari started mingling with him, and everybody was like, oh, why would you give this man chance again? During his first tenure, we didn't see much of you. But at the end of the day, he's agreed to work with them. Maybe they have the agreement that he will go, or they are going to hand over, or they are going to support him. Not hand over, nobody can even hand over power to anybody. They are going to help, support him in their party, because one thing is for your party to support you, another thing is for people, the masses, to accept you. Forget all this rigging of a thing. In a normal sense, in the real sense, it is people that would determine, but most of the time they try to do some kind of manipulations. It's a different thing when your party presents you, and it's a different thing when the masses really want you. If the masses don't want you, nothing there's nothing the party can do. Their own is just to present you. It is the masses that have the power. But just that what we have been seeing in these days, they try to reduce and frustrate the efforts of the people. But ordinarily, if we want to go by the way it ought to go, definitely the masses will be the one to determine at the end of the day. So, in my own opinion, Tinubu had been sidelined even in the first tenure, not even now. So it now depends on them. But what we are concerned is not about, oh, let us put this person, let us push this person, let this person be there. Because we have been disappointed many times. We've been disappointed many times. When I see people, what happens in other places, in other countries, it baffles me that it is not rocket science. It's just that some people they have proposed in their hearts that Nigeria will not move forward, in as much they are going to be enjoying. And that is what we have been experiencing. Today now, there was an election in the UK, and everybody, was going about their business. They didn't lock down anywhere. They didn't lock down any market or office or whatever. And the election is going to close by 10 p.m. today. It's going to close by 10 p.m. I was telling somebody, if it were to be Nigeria, they will, and the election was just, they just planned it within, I'm not sure it was up to 2 months. They planned everything. And you didn't see anybody going around, dancing up and down, forming rally, bringing all these artists to be dancing. Nobody will ask questions. And they were doing door-to-door campaigning. And that was what happened. If it were to be Nigeria, by this time, you must have seen a lot of things on social media. People snatching ballots, police, army moving around, pursuing each other and shooting everywhere. I don't know where we are going to get to that stage. And these people always go abroad, or they know what is obtainable. The unfortunate thing is that just copy and paste what you see over there. But when it comes to some stuff, they will be telling you they are sovereign country. Oh, they know what they are doing. They will be referring. It is done like this in the UK. But when you talk about good governance, we talk about good life for people. That is where we always have problems. So, guys, I wouldn't want to talk much. I would like to hear from you what you think about this. That if Tinubu really wants to maintain his want to be relevant politically, that he needs to support these three people. I don't know if you agree with that. Please leave your comments below in the comment section. Thank you very much. Bye.